Spring is my favorite season. You want to know why? It means that the weather's getting warmer, my birthday's coming up in a couple months, and the NFL draft is almost here. That's right, with the draft just a month away, the time for discussions and free agency winds down as excitement and anticipation continues to rise. Hello everyone, and welcome back to this special edition of Penn State Sports Night. I'm Lexy Lideline, joined by Joe Callahan Jr. and Ethan Ellis, and tonight we'll be bringing back our annual NFL mock draft. All right, gentlemen, let's get into it. I know everybody's really anticipating this. So Ethan, we'll start off with you. Who do you got to start us off?
Yeah, so my top three, it's pretty obvious. It's been a lot of mock drafts. Aiden Hutchinson, Kayvon Thibodeau, and Ekem Ekwonu. Aiden Hutchinson, he's just been so dominant at Michigan. 36 solo tackles, 14 sacks. I mean, he's just been wreaking havoc on quarterbacks throughout the NCAA. So he's a pretty obvious first pick for the Jaguars. Kayvon Thibodeau, pretty good stats. Not as good in terms of sacks, half the sacks at 7 that Hutchinson has, but still 35 solo tackles. That's really impressive. He too has been wreaking havoc across the NCAA, so he's definitely going to be a good addition for the Lions to bolster their defense. And then Ekem Ekwonu, he's going to be really good to help protect Davis Mills. The Texans have so much faith in Davis Mills, and they're going to want to see him succeed. And what better way than to get the best offensive tackle of the draft in Ekwonu? So then I decide to be bold and propose the trade. So the Giants have 2 first-round picks, a 5th and a 7th-round pick. I don't think they're going to want to keep both of those, and especially judging off of last year when they traded down to the Bears. So I've got them trading their pick to the Raiders. Why? Because the Raiders don't have a pick until the 3rd round. So I've got the Raiders picking cornerback Derek Stingley Jr., and in the trade, the Giants are going to receive Denzel Perryman, a linebacker who's had a breakout year last season. He was so good. He made it to the Pro Bowl. I think he's going to be a really good addition to that Giants defense, who's lost a lot of people and very well could lose another one in James Bradbury. So I see the Giants picking up Denzel Perryman in this trade. They're also going to get some draft picks. I have them getting the 3rd round pick that the Raiders have in the 2022 NFL draft, and the Raiders giving the Giants their 2023 2nd round pick. So I really think that this addition of Denzel Perryman to the Giants defense is going to help to bolster their secondary. And also, Derek Stingley Jr. really going to come in clutch for the Raiders because they are really struggling on defense. So I think that Derek Stingley in the backfield for the Raiders is really going to help. But then the quarterbacks I really see falling. This is not that great of a quarterback draft class. And everyone says Kenny Pickett or Malik Willis is going to go to Carolina. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think either of them are going there. I've got Tyler Linderbaum, the center from Iowa, going to Carolina just because Carolina, I feel like, is going to have enough faith in Sam Darnold to where they're going to want to try to give him protection to maybe hit some of his receivers down the field like DJ Moore. So I think the Panthers are going to try and stick it out with Darnold for another year and maybe see what the other draft classes present. But I've got Malik Willis going to one of the Eagles' 3 draft picks, and I think Malik Willis is really going to help maybe encourage Jalen Hurts to train harder in the offseason because we've seen a lot of speculation. Jalen Hurts might not be it for the Eagles, so I think Malik Willis is going to be really good in giving Hurts the competition he needs to succeed. So I think Malik Willis to the Eagles is a good pick. And then also, I've got Kenny Pickett falling all the way down to 32. And the reason why is just I don't think any of these teams are going to be desperate enough to for a quarterback to where they're going to just go for Kenny Pickett, who hasn't really proven that he's ready to be a day 1 starter. So I think the Lions might be desperate enough to where they're going to want to give Jared Goff some protection. We knew that Jared Goff, once he left the Rams, was not going to be that great of a quarterback. We knew that that Rams franchise was carrying him. So I really like Kenny Pickett going to the Lions. Maybe give Jared Goff some competition. And does this mean that Willis or Pickett are going to start week 1 or maybe even this coming season? No, they probably won't because they're not ready for the NFL. So it's going to take them a little while, but they're definitely going to encourage the quarterbacks that they're under and maybe learn a thing or two. And then Penn State, we've seen a lot of debate on how many picks would a school like Penn State have. I've got two of them. I've got two of their players going in the first round. Jahan Dotson going to the Patriots. The Patriots more than likely are going to take a wide receiver in this first round. Mac Jones really needs more targets downfield. If Bill Belichick can get Mac Jones some more targets downfield, I see the Patriots offense being way more successful next season. And I've also got Arnold Ebiketie. He's going to be going in the first round too. I mean, he is just such a good edge rusher. And when you put him next to someone like Micah Parsons, it's really going to help to bolster that defense. We've seen how good Micah Parsons has turned out for the Cowboys. So why not get another Penn State player to play right next to him? Arnold Ebiketie might be the answer for the Cowboys.
Well, all this Detroit Lions and Penn State talk, you really got my attention. Now, Joe, we all know here that you love to talk football, so I'm really interested to see how your lineup starts.
Well, listen, Ethan, I love your mock draft, don't get me wrong. But if I'm Joe Schoen of the New York Giants and you come to me with that Perriman trade, might slap you harder than Chris Rock got slapped by Will Smith. Listen, my top three is a little bit different than yours just because I have a blockbuster trade. The reason why is because the Texans, they need everything. Their team, other than Mills, which they are going to back up the entire season, I think that right now they're trying to get into the second round, the third round, trying to build their team. Seahawks are trying to find their man again. They just got rid of Russell Wilson. Might as well get a guy that has his ceiling. Now, his floor might be Jamarcus Russell, but where he fits in that, I don't know. But I think that they use the draft capital that they just got, get Malik Willis, who has the highest ceiling. Next, we go to the Jets, who on the Senior Bowl loved Jermaine Johnson II. I mean, it might be a little bit of a reach, but they're going to get their guy that their coaching staff really loves. Then the New York Giants, after bolstering their O-line to try to get Saquon and Daniel Jones something, they're going to trade away James Bradbury to the Chiefs. The Chiefs are actually going to pair him with another cornerback later on in the round, but I think that the New York Giants have to go Ahmad Gardner with that. Then later on, we have the Chiefs trading with the Eagles at the 16 pick because you see right there, receiver. They're getting a little antsy. They just got rid of Tyreek Hill now. They need their guy. So they're going to trade for one of the Eagles picks and get the Jameson Williams receiver from Alabama. Alabama's storied wide receivers that have come out lately. They're going to go right there at 16. Now, if you look at the future of the draft and the later picks, we're going to get a lot of teams that are going to just try to fill roles that they lost in free agency, sort of like the Packers or the Steelers trying to lose linemen or something other than that. So when you get to that point, it's going to be a lot of the streaks, but the Eagles aren't going to fret now because they do need a receiver. I believe that they get their home blood in Jahan Dotson. He's not going to leave the state. He's going to the Eagles later on in the round. But if we go over to the later rounds, it's just, you know, teams trying to fill open spots, Packers at receiver. You got just realistically everyone's just trying to, the edge rushers for Packers later on. So a lot of these teams are trying to fill lost spots. But either way, season's going to look crazy next year with this draft and the amazing free agency that we just had.
I gotta say, I like a lot of your guys' picks, and I think you have justifiable evidence for any one of them. But, you know, only time will tell, and we'll have to see what happens. Well, this may only be the first mock draft, but you can sure come back next week and see a whole new crew with their mock drafts. That's it for this episode of Penn State Sports Night. For Joe Callahan Jr. and Ethan Ellis, I'm Lexy Lideline. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Hey everybody! Thank you for tuning into this edition of Penn State Sports Night. We hope you liked that segment.
And we're sure there's other Penn State Sports Night segments that you are going to love as well. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more content.
And check us out on social media for updates and behind-the-scenes clips and pics. Follow us on Twitter at PSSN TV and on Instagram at PSU Sports Night to keep up with all the action.
For all of us here at the Belisari Media Center, we are
Penn State Sports Night.